Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, today I want to give you the hack, the cheat code for Clan Boss, especially if you're someone who's coming up through the game and you're looking to get those juicy rewards on track as early as you can. This is the type of stuff you need to know. Now, there are a load of ways in Clan Boss to pretty much cheese it, okay? And by that I mean make yourself unkillable, and therefore you're always going to get to turn 50, and therefore you should easily beat up the Clan Boss. That's not what this video is focused on today. This is about trying to beat Clan Boss with the actual mechanics, because maybe you don't have those cheese abilities in your roster. So we're going to look here. I'm on my free-to-play account. I'm just under 5 weeks into the game. 0 pence spent. Okay, so this is kind of like a true understanding of how to get it done. So what we're looking for on Clan Boss is there's a few debuffs that we absolutely want. There's one that we absolutely need, and the main one that we need is decrease attack. If you're decreasing the Clan Boss's attack, it's going to massively reduce the amount of damage he hits you with his 2 AoE abilities. It makes 0 difference to his single target slam ability. Okay, so you always want decreased attack on for when those AoEs go off. That's the only necessity of a debuff to get yourself long into the fight. Other debuffs which are nice to have are things like poison. It's a good way to do damage against the Clan Boss. Things like brimstone or smite, another really good way to do damage against the Clan Boss. Abilities like decreased defense, reduce the enemy's defense, therefore you just hit him harder. And honestly, that's, and I guess weaken as well. So weaken decreased defense means you're going to hit harder. Decreased attack means he hits you for less. And then smite and poison are the 2 best ways to do general damage to the Clan Boss. The other best way to do damage to the Clan Boss, and your whole team should have this, is basically getting everybody Warmaster as your main mastery. Any of your Clan Boss team should have this mastery. And if you've got someone who generally does a 3-hit ability or more, then you're actually going to want to switch that for Giant Slayer. Now, I've got Giant Slayer on Alice, and I'm not sure if this is the best way to go, because she's got 2 single target abilities that she likes to use on auto, and she's also got an A1, which is a triple hit. For me, it's 50-50 whether she would be Warmaster or Giant Slayer. But for now, I've got Giant Slayer on, and I don't want to waste my reset at the moment. Now, there's a couple of things which you need in terms of buffs to really make yourself last long into the fight. One of them is increased defense. So the more defense you've got, the easier it's going to be to stay alive. I know this stuff sounds like it's simple, but sometimes you just got to do the simple things to make yourself live long. So increased defense, really solid. And then probably the cheat code for Clan Boss is ally protection. The longer you've got ally protection up, the easier this fight becomes. And that's because there's kind of like a bugged mechanic where, I don't know if it's bugged or meant to be on purpose, but either way it happens, the person who's taking the ally protection damage does not take the amount of damage they're meant to against Clan Boss. So someone who is protecting your team when those AoE hits go off is like top tier in terms of abilities and survivability for your team. Ideally, you want someone with ally protection on all allies, and it goes on for 3 turns. Other abilities which are good in terms of buffs, I don't have them in this team, but shield is extremely strong and keeps you alive a lot longer than you should live. And strengthen is also really good for your team to keep you alive. There's also abilities in the game which passively keep you alive. So champions like Venomage has got a passive which reduces the amount of damage you will take when a certain debuff is on the enemy. Duchess is a good example of someone who's got a passive that reduces the amount of damage you take from AoE hits from bosses. So there's a number of these through the game, and they're the type of things you should be looking out for on your champions. I guess one other standout champion that you might own who does crazy damage in a silly way is Geomancer as just like a standout damage dealer that's worth having on your team. As soon as you put this burn and weaken on, or the burn specifically, whenever anyone on your team takes hit, you're basically reflecting, you reflect a bit of damage. That's not really where the damage comes from. The damage comes from anyone the clan boss hits has got a chance to proc this mini Warmaster type enemy max HP damage proc. And that's where he can do a lot of damage for you as well. So what we're going to see here is my team fighting Nightmare Clan Boss after 5 weeks. Before we do it, there's a couple of tools which are really helpful, right? So if you use the optimizer from hellhades.com, you can actually come into the optimizer, into Team Optimizer, and hit Find a Team. What it will do is it will look for combinations of champions that you own where they've had runs on Clan Boss whilst the optimizer's been open. The longer you've been playing the game, the more variations you're going to see here because you're just going to own more champions, okay? So, you know, for me, currently, the actual team it's showing is my team. So I am currently running the best version of any champions the optimizer has seen for my account, okay? But if you've been playing for a bit longer, you might see tons of different teams and you'll see the sort of damage that team did whilst they were in play. You can also go into variations and view the team, and you can see the exact mastery setup and builds that team was running with. So this is a really good tool to help you understand what teams are doing to get their job done. The other place that's worth going to is deadwoodjedi.com, where you can literally go in and see speed tunes. Speed tuning is like the next step up really for what I'm going to show you today. And a speed tune means that you're going to get the most possible hits per clan boss run that you can. And it's basically a game changer when it comes to doing damage. So yeah, there's a speed tune tool on the Deadwood Jedi site. You can literally come in and grab speed tunes that already exist, which is helpful as well, just to try and understand what speed tuning means. But ultimately what you're trying to do is to get the maximum number of hits against a clan boss that you can in the amount of time that you've got against the clan boss. So when you've got somebody like I've got here with a Necmo Thar that's doing increased speed and taking extra turns, what he's actually going to do is take my team out of sync. What I would love to get to on my team is regular abilities that drop consistently. So what you can do is you can check and see if sometimes slowing people down actually improves the number of hits you're going to get, or it certainly changes the landscape of what your team is going to do. And if you're really trying to like min-max a squad, sometimes you just need to play around with the best form of speed tuning that you can do until you get some sort of consistency of hits. I'm not going to do that in this video because that's a bit more of an advanced technique. But what we can see is basically I start to get a good number of hits in across the board. Now, if I'm speed tuning, the next thing that you're going to want to understand is, and I'll show you a couple of speed tunes in action from the site here, getting to a 2-to-1 ratio is kind of like how you go from Nightmare to Ultra Nightmare really easily. And with that, it's about trying to find a way to hit the clan boss twice for every time the clan boss hits you one time. I'm just going to pull out one of the early ones that I built here, the White Whale for Lydia. And basically what is going on in this speed tune for Ultra Nightmare is every time the clan boss hits us, everybody gets 2 turns of time. And what that means is you can set things up so that you block the stun hitting you, for example. So having block debuffs up just before the stun hits is a really good way of doing that. Or having a cleanser who goes first after the stun hits. So that's a second way that you could get that done as well. Also, having someone who does block debuffs before AoE 2 goes off is a way of making yourself affinity friendly, and therefore things like decreased speed won't affect your team. So that's some of the more advanced type of techniques that you can use to really beat up the clan boss. By the way, I just seen Godforge pop up on my screen. I did put out a video yesterday showing off the new build for Godforge, which is the game that Fateless is making, my game studio. Definitely go and check that out. I'll pin it down below. Damn, we're starting to get really, really close to our beta. So yeah, I'd love for you guys to go and check that out. See, let me know what you think. Right, let's talk about some builds then. So what am I trying to do at this early level when I'm fighting Nightmare Clan Boss? Firstly, we've spoken about Taragi being my ally protector. He's going to take a lot of damage because he's protecting everyone else. He's also got a decreased attack on his A1. So the things that I'm trying to do here is, 1, make sure that he gets a retaliation hit in when he can. I would love for him to be in lifesteal gear, but my lifesteal gear is crap. So instead, I've just gone for high HP and defense numbers. Okay, and you can see in this build here, we want to be over 170 speed, and I want enough accuracy to land my abilities, and then it's about defense and HP, but mainly HP, honestly. HP is bigger for an ally protector than defense is. For my secondary support, who's also wearing Guardian gear, this is a kind of cheat code again, because Guardian gear is basically a mini version of ally protection. So it's absorbing damage my other allies take. So again, it's kind of cheat code. Plus I get a heal for every turn that we take. So it's self-healing plus protecting my team. Juice that one up there a little bit more. Why not? Make sure that I glyph stuff, because it can be the difference between a top chest or not. And you can see here, so we've got Guardian gear. Otherwise, I'm trying to get to the right sort of speeds. Again, 170 is my minimum. And I'm looking for HP and defense. That's all I need on her. Rotate abilities and stay alive. We've then got Nekmo Thar, who's my speed merchant for the account. Basically, it's going very fast, 246. Doesn't need to be as fast as this, but it's just his normal build. I would like a bit more accuracy on him. He's at 162 right now. And I'm going to get a banner on him soon. The banner will take him well over what we need for accuracy. You notice I've got perception gear on to try and get that accuracy up. And then I've tried to glyph wherever I can my accuracy up, but I'm out of good glyphs. But yeah, really for Nightmare, I want to be over 170, probably more like 180, 190. And for Ultra Nightmare, really minimum 230 to get that done. But Nekmo is just moving fast. And again, good survivability with HP and defense. Probably would like a bit more defense, honestly. Yeah, so that's something which I would be working towards. We've then got, for me, a drop defense champion is Udo. Again, this is just an arena build, so fast, with good accuracy, and then HP and defense. And my damage dealer, well, ultimately, all I'm trying to do is land, smite, and do hard hits. But I would like some sort of survivability, so we do have a decent portion of HP here. But mainly I'm looking for attack, crit capped, and crit damage for my damage dealer. Now, if I didn't have people that land leech ability enables me to heal, I would pretty much need everybody in either lifesteal gear or guardian gear. But because I've got both Udo that apply leech and I've got Nekmo that applies leech, it's less important for this group. You can also put masteries on, which gives you a bit of healing. Life drinkers is the main one. Or you can wear stuff like bolster set, guardian gear, regen set, and it gives you other ways to find healing in between turns. But yeah, lifesteal is kind of the way to go. So let me show you the run. If you want to min-max your damage that you're going to get here, because ultimately what you're trying to do is get to the maximum chest as quick as you can, then you should manual the runs until you get to a point where you've got a full auto team. But you can see here, I'm trying to get to 39 million damage minimum. And if we beat up Nightmare with to 0, we will get 2 chests. And that's where we start to get good shards, books, all that type of stuff to help improve our accounts. Brutal is not really where it's at, because you can't get any sacred shards, you can't get legendary books, and it's less likely for you to get the other stuff. So Nightmare is where you start to unlock the game. Ultra Nightmare is actually where you start to get regular resources that are high tier, like premium resources for your account. So that's the ultimate goal. I would much rather use all of my keys and get a top chest in Ultra Nightmare than get multiple chests of lower difficulty. Similarly, I would much rather use all of my keys and get a top chest in Nightmare than get a mid chest in Nightmare, a max chest in Brutal, and a max chest on Hard. So if you can be in a clan that actually supports where you are in Clan Boss, that makes a big difference as well. So I've got a speed lead in. If you don't have a speed lead in, I would suggest a defense lead to get defense across your team. Defense is one of the ways to reduce that damage that's coming in. And then turn order does matter. So anyone who is got ally protection should be sitting in front of the other team members. Probably like this is actually better. You definitely can set up a team setup to get your cleanser going in the right place and that type of thing if you're just going to run full auto, providing you've got a cleanser that can do the job well. And yeah, let's let this bad boy run. Again, if you're min-maxing, you would you would full manual the whole thing. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do, we're trying to keep decrease attack on as much as I can. I'm trying to keep decrease defense on the enemy as much as I can. Increase defense and attack for me to give me more damage. I want smite on whenever possible. Now, if I was running full auto here, I would be ally protecting straight away. I do not need any protection in like the first 12 turns. So if I'm manualing, I'm just doing the things which give me more damage early on. And then later on, I'm going to go and use those defensive abilities as much as I can. So we're just going to try and get as many hits in as I can early. And then when we get towards the end of the run, I make sure that I am min-maxing my defensive capabilities, I guess. So you can see here, we're just keeping debuffs on as much as we possibly can, setting ourselves up. I'm not using the Udo cleanse, albeit I think Necmo is speed tuned in a daft way. Necmo is going to take the stun because he's my leader. Just talking about stuns quickly, the leader will always be stunned if everything is equal in the team. And by that I mean everyone's got the same buffs up, everyone's got the same HP pools, that type of thing. So if we've all got increased defense, then the leader will be stunned. If the leader did not have increased defense and everyone else did, the stun would go to position 2 in your turn order. Really important to know that. So if affinity changes and the clan boss looks at my team and says, hold on a minute, the leader is a strong affinity against me, I'll look for the weak affinity. He'll look down your turn order and he'll hit the first person that is the weak affinity to him in turn order. So you can start to control where a stun is going to go. So you can see here, the clan boss is going to stun my leader. I've saved my cleanse with Udo, so we're going to cleanse that off. And then I get kind of like maximum utility out of my Necmo in terms of my speed tune here. And Necmo is one that I do want to be regularly getting his turns because he gives me my speed up as well and that type of stuff. So I'm going to play this through. I'll bring you back in when we start to get to dicey points and just kind of talk you through what I'm doing there. Okay, so I've got to turn count 14. I'm probably about halfway through my damage capability here. At this point, I now start to implement the ally protect. So what I'm thinking here is, at this point, we're now starting to take some damage. It is important, by the way, to have things like Warmaster procs going off when you've got leech or when you've got lifesteal gear on, because ultimately that's how you ensure that you heal back up to full. So the Warmaster thing is not just about doing damage, it's also your source of healing for your team. But you can see at this point, if we've got no ally protection on, like we're going to have on this round, we take quite a good chunk of damage. We should have ally protection up, I think, for the next AoE hits. And that will, you'll see, do considerably less damage, providing we get it timed well. We do, yeah. So you'll see now, increased defense up, ally protection up, basically 0 damage, a little bit of damage for my Taragi. And that's basically why it's like a cheat code for, you know, non-unkillable teams. Unkillable teams are a cheat code in themselves because you don't even need to worry about anything. It just works. But you can see we're getting a lot of damage from our smites. We've got a bit of poison going off from our Taragi. The clan boss noticed that our Alice did not have increased defense up, and that's why the clan boss went there as like the next best target. We can still keep that cleansed off with our Udo. And we're keeping decreased attack on basically all of the time. So I'm going to let this keep playing through, and I'll show you the damage at the end. But bam, ally protection goes up. Beautiful. No one really takes any damage. So we get towards the business end of the run. At this point, we're really just trying to keep people topped up. I'm trying to get ally protection on as much as I can. I know that my Necmo has not got enough defense to basically stay alive for a decent amount of time. So in effect, at this point, he just dies to the stun hit every time, and my Dawn Caller picks him up every time. That's the vibe. So I'm trying to make sure that everyone else is topped up so that the flow of the stun hit always goes on my Necmo. Necmo dies, we let him die, and then we pick him back up again. sometimes, so you see the way there, the tastiest snack for the clan boss was actually my Udo, because he was lower health, and therefore we got Udo taken out instead. But that's kind of fine. As long as it's not Dawncaller, I can keep this run going for a bit longer. Ally protection up. He's going to take a big whack, actually. A bit worried about him, but increased defense up is going to help me a lot as well. And we want to keep our leech on, so we keep healing up to full as much as we can. We're kind of in danger zone here because my ally protection is going off. And this Udo is looking very, very dodgy right now. We've got decreased attack on, leeches on, which is good. Just don't have to heal. Hope it's enough because my ally protection is not back. And then we lose 2. So you can see here at 21 mil, which is fine, by the way. 21 mil's like a decent amount for me. I'm going to have to ally protect here. And I think we're going to pick up Necmo. Ally protect just means whoever takes a stun is not going to be dead. So we're just, at this point now, we're just like trying to extend the run as much as we can. But we know the run's basically over. See, and it's about just trying to do those extra few, you know, thousands of damage. Again, we're going to pick Necmo up because he's the guy who's keeping me moving. He's also the guy that can actually put a heal out for me. But it's looking pretty sorry. Mistakes were made. 22 mil. This might be still one of my biggest hits. We're just going to get as many hits as I can. 22 mil. And if you look at the sort of damage spread here, Necmo did a lot of hits because of the speed he's running at. Nearly 3 million damage, mainly just from Warmaster procs. You've got Taradi, 4.5 million. A lot of that is from his poisons that he's putting out. Alice, nearly 11 million. She hits hard, but also those smites are doing a lot. And then Udo, 2.6. So a good spread across the team. But yeah, hopefully, if you're newer to the game and you're trying to get your head around Clan Boss, that's going to help you. It might even help you if you're pushing towards the Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team and you're thinking, what are some of the fundamentals to get me there? Like the main difference from this team to Ultra Nightmare is that I need everybody running on a 2-for-1 speed tune. If I do that, this same squad, honestly, with builds very similar to what I've got right now, that'll be an Ultra Nightmare team. So there you go, guys. 5 weeks in, free to play, and we are 2-keying Nightmare very, very comfortably. I'll see you in the next one.